Hi, my name is Elisa Hancock. I'm a certified health coach specializing in weight loss. And this is part 3 of my series, The Top 3 Things My Most Successful Clients Do. So today we're going to talk about changing your story to change your results. So several years ago, I was teaching a class and I needed to use my friend's materials in this class. And so I reached out to her and asked her if she would give me permission to use her materials. And I didn't hear back from her. And I immediately went into victim mode. Like, we're not as good friends as we thought. I thought we were better friends than that. Why hasn't she responded to me? And because of that, I did nothing. And I was going over the materials to put my class together. And this was one of the concepts I was teaching. And all of a sudden I realized I'm telling myself a horrible story. And so I changed my story. And I said, you know what? She would probably love to hear from me. She probably just got too busy to respond to the email. Why don't I just pick up the phone and call her? And all of a sudden I had moved into action. And I picked up my phone and I called her, and guess what? She was happy to hear from me, and she was happy to let me use her materials. So I want to point out that I went from victim mode to action when I changed my story. I had no control over how she reacted. She could have come back to me and said, I don't want you using my material. And it would have been okay, because now I'm out of victim mode and now I'm in action mode, and I would have just found another action to take. And I would have kept taking action until I got to where I needed to be. I love the saying, like, everything is figure outable. And just because you may not see how your story is going to end right now, just keep figuring it out. But you have to be in action mode to be able to do that. And if you're telling yourself a really bad story or a victim story, you're not going to get in action mode, and you're not going to be able to start figuring things out. So you have your thoughts that create your feelings, that lead to your actions, that cause results. Those are all in your power. So as you change your story, then you change how you feel about things, you change your action, and you actually change your results. So a lot of times we think results are out of our realm, like we have no control, they're out of our control. They're not. We have control over not all of our results, but a lot of them we do. So I'm going to give you some steps to help you change your story. The first thing you have to do is, and this is the hardest part of this process, and it may take you several days, it may even take you a few weeks. It's okay. Take the time, because it's so worth it. The first thing you need to do is you need to define your current story. What are you currently telling yourself? Why are you not being successful? Is it bad genes? Is it lack of support? Is it, I don't know, whatever it is, as you're starting to climb your mountain, your transformation mountain that we talked about on video 1, and you start hitting those obstacles, what are those obstacles? Because those will give you a hint of what story it is that you're telling yourself. And now I need you to write this down. And there's 2 different ways I've done it, so I'm going to give you both ways. I've used both. They both work great. So the first way is to take a sheet of paper, put a line down the middle, and on the left you're going to put old story, and on the right you're going to put new story. And you're going to go down and just kind of bullet point things you tell yourself. I call them false beliefs, things that I like to believe about myself that are not true. And all of these beliefs that are stopping you, you're going to write on the left. And then on the right side, you're going to write kind of the opposite of it. So for example, if on the left, if you're saying, I'm not getting enough support, on the right, you're going to say, I have plenty of people and resources who support me in my journey. And you're going to go down and you're going to go through this process, take your time. And then if you do it this way, what I do is then I just rip the paper in half, and that old story, I shred it, I burn it, I throw it away, I get rid of it. It is no longer my story. I am no longer that victim of yesterday, and I am now this empowered person moving forward in control of my journey. The other way you can do this is you can take a piece of paper and you can just write your story. And this with weight loss can be especially effective if you have an incident in your life that happened. Like if you had been thin your whole life until you were 32 and then something happened and that's when you started gaining weight, you can go back to that incident and write out a story and just be really raw with the story when you're telling it. And then you're going to go back and you're going to edit all of the negative things and you're going to rewrite your story. And you're going to give yourself a positive story and a positive experience to remember. And you're going to read this over and over and over again. You're going to practice your new story, whichever way you did it. You're either going to end up with kind of like a list of kind of like affirmations that you're going to tell yourself over and over, or you're going to end up with this new story that you're going to tell yourself over and over. Now, sometimes jumping from the old story to the new story is not very believable for you. So sometimes I do it, I call these qualifiers. So if I, for example, we'll go back to the support. If I go from I have no support to I am surrounded with support, and I just go, oh, I don't even believe that at all, then I'll use a word like, I choose to believe that there are people out there waiting to support me. I choose to believe that it is possible for me to lose weight even with my current genes, even with my genetic makeup. I choose to believe this new story. And you're kind of taking it from, so that you're not telling yourself, this is a bunch of caca, this is a lie. And instead you're saying, I choose believing that this is possible. And it kind of is bridging you from your old belief to your new belief. And so you're still going forward, you're still going into action. So if I were that kind of person who believed that I could do this or that this was possible, then what actions might I take? And it's a kind of a softer way to ease yourself into the new story. And I've had to do that for some goals of mine. And it kind of just depends where you're at. If you're just really ready to burn that old bridge and just move forward, you might be able to just move forward with the positive new beliefs. Either way is fine. There's not a right or wrong. This is your journey, and your journey is perfect the way it is. So this concludes my top 3 tips. Like I told you in the first video, I actually ended up with a lot more videos. So I hope you continue on this journey with me, because I have a lot more videos to share, a lot more tips to share. And I've really enjoyed this time. And kudos to you if you've made it all the way through video 3. Thanks for the time we spent together. I've really enjoyed this time. See ya.